Hi, this is the Grocery Guru, and it's time to play golf. 56 degrees is a pretty good deal here in Omaha, Nebraska. And I got my Omaha golf shirt on, I got my golf hat on, and I'm ready to roll. But before that, I want to talk about labels today. Talking about labels. Remember what labels are basically a marketing tool for those that manufacture these items. So I wanted to show you a couple of things that I think are interesting. The FDA came out with something. I'm not a real fan of the FDA, but in this case, I think they made a good decision, and they adjusted some of the labeling. And what they came up with was this. If you look at the back of it, pretty much anything now, it's almost caught up. This is what happens. This is what they did differently. They talk about their normal stuff, the calories and all those things, but I think what I really like about it is it talks about sugars at the end. These are regular sugars. And if you look down at this thing, it says here, added sugars. Added sugars. That's sugar that is not part of a natural source, like fruit has sugar in it, those kind of things, but it has an added sugar. So if you look at that, in this particular case, it says there's 36 grams of added sugar. And this 72% piece right here, that means 72%, you've already used up 72% of your total sugar intake for the day. So keep that in mind. I like these, and my grandkids really like Pop-Tarts. So you need to be careful that you don't have these regularly or have a whole bunch of them, because it does create some problems. Sugar is a big, big problem. Another thing that most of these things have is something called salt. Just about everything. This is one of my favorite soups, and I use it quite frequently. But if you look back at the label, you'll find that the salt, or the sodium intake, the sodium for this particular item is, where is it? Sodium right here? What does that say? 860 milligrams of sodium. And then it has this 37%. That's 37% of your total daily intake. So it's kind of a nice way for you to pay attention to labels. I'm not expecting you to change your entire dietary routine, but I think it's important for you to take a look at those labels, make a determination, and say to yourself, how much sugar do I want to have for each meal? How much sodium do I want to have for each meal? Keep those things in mind. And remember, I think it's really interesting, some of the things they say. This one says, proudly baked in the USA. Isn't that interesting? That's great, I'm glad it is. But it's interesting how they use that. And they also have some of their labeling up on top. It talks about how many calories. It talks about the intake of sugar and various other items. So that's kind of a neat way to determine where you are on things. So pretty neat idea. Be careful. Don't get carried away on your labels. It's important for you to pay attention to labels, but by the same token, eat healthy, save money, and you'll make sure you do the right thing. Another one thing I want to talk a little bit about was there's something called 100 sensitive items in every grocery store. And those 100 sensitive items take the top 100 items that are sold in the USA, and they put them on a list, and they try their best to be competitive on those items, regardless of what kind of format you have. This happens to be one of the top 100, and so does this. So you'll find those prices are going to be competitive in all stores, surrounding stores. So keep that in mind as well. And those are the popular brand items. So in this case, remember, this isn't a store brand. This is a national brand. So it's okay sometimes, and you're going to save some money regularly watching for those really hot items. Things like milk, eggs, bread, those types of things. So let's think about labels, think about price, think about sensitive pricing, and I think you'll find that you'll save money. This is the Grocery Guru, signing off.